Optimism rises as Russia pulls back their troops.
A multi-million-dollar company gets the heat over these allegations.
And looking for a new place to dine? Check out these 3 unique restaurants.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Madison Myers.
And I'm Sydney Deshawn.
The United States is closing its embassy in Kyiv, Ukraine due to the Russian buildup of troops at the Ukrainian border. The fear of invasion also had significant impact on both the U.S. and the world economy. Cole Higgins with CNN has more information.
The State Department taking no chances.
There would be widespread human suffering.
Moving all remaining diplomatic personnel in Ukraine out of Kyiv and into the western part of the country.
We feel all of these actions were absolutely necessary.
But the U.S. is not giving up on a peaceful resolution. A spokesperson for the Kremlin says Russian President Vladimir Putin is, quote, willing to negotiate.
The path for diplomacy remains available if Russia chooses to engage constructively. However, we are clear-eyed about the prospects of that given the steps Russia is taking on the ground in plain sight.
The White House says they are remaining in close contact with NATO allies and partners about possible next steps.
President Biden has made clear that should there be another incursion into Ukraine, that the United States would respond swiftly with severe economic consequences.
The impacts of the tension felt at home.
Right now, the American people are focused on their pocketbooks.
Fears of invasion sent the Dow tumbling and oil prices soaring, reaching $95 a barrel for the first time since 2014.
I do think the American people will support the use of our economic power through sanctions and some of their taxpayer dollars going to move troops to protect the eastern flank of NATO.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
In a press conference in Brussels, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg gave a statement saying that Russia still has the opportunity to de-escalate the situation.
The signs coming from Moscow about a willingness to continue to engage in diplomatic efforts, that gives some reason for cautious optimism. But we will, of course, follow very closely what's happening on the ground and whether this is reflected in some real de-escalation of the Russian military buildup in and around Ukraine.
President Putin has since announced plans to remove some troops from the border. Russia's defense ministry says troops from the southern and western military districts will soon return to their home bases. U.S. intelligence has estimated a total of 113,000 Russian troops have been moved to the Ukrainian border.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has invoked the rarely used Emergency Act in an attempt to end the Freedom Convoy blockades that have been taking place along the U.S. and Canada border. Anna Bergeron-Oliver has the story.
18 days after the first trucks parked near Parliament and began what police and politicians are calling an occupation of Ottawa, the federal government is invoking the never-before-used Emergency Measures Act.
Right now, the situation requires additional tools not held by any other federal, provincial, or territorial law. Today, in these circumstances, it is now clear that responsible leadership requires us to do this.
The powerful act, described as a measure of last resort, gives the federal government wide-reaching powers to curtail the demonstrations, from increasing the penalties for illegal and dangerous activity to enabling the RCMP to enforce municipal bylaw and provincial offences, and ensuring essential services, including towing vehicles, are rendered.
More important to keep law and order in this society.
The act replaces the War Measures Act, which was last used during the 1970 FLQ October crisis, under then Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau.
We cannot and will not allow illegal and dangerous activities to continue.
While primarily focused on Ottawa, where the convoy protest started, the announcement gives police enhanced enforcement abilities in Coutts, Alberta, where at least 11 people were detained today and more than a dozen guns seized. as well as at Windsor's Ambassador Bridge, which reopened overnight after a 6-day shutdown.
At the end of the day, we need law and order. Our country is at risk right now.
I think at this point for the federal government to reach in over top of us without offering anything in particular would frankly be unhelpful.
We're having a lot of fun.
In Ottawa, where trucks are being moved out of residential areas to the street in front of Parliament, police have warned they're overwhelmed and lacking the resources necessary to crack down on the convoy. Those on the streets are digging in further, saying the threat of bigger fines, arrest, and jail time are of little concern.
I fought my country and was willing to die. I'm willing to do the same thing here. So
there's absolutely no emergency. All we're doing is we're shutting everything down to bring back our God-given rights, which had already been fought for.
The emergency order is now in effect, and the government says it will only remain in place as long as it is needed to restore order. It will expire in 30 days unless Parliament revokes it sooner. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
There is no indication of exactly when these measures will be put in place, but Trudeau has said the act will be temporary and proportional to the threats they are meant to address.
While Canadians are dealing with vaccine mandates, the U.S. is facing low amounts of Americans getting the COVID-19 booster shots. According to public health experts, there's a concern about this record low pace. As of Monday, 64% of Americans are fully vaccinated with at least 2 doses, but only 28% have received a booster shot. This all-time low has been going on since September, when the CDC recommended boosters for seniors and at-risk adults. You know, I've really been enjoying this warm weather lately. I wonder what the rest of this week is going to look like.
Even though we are seeing those warm temperatures, I heard it was supposed to storm tomorrow. Let's check with our weather anchor, Crystal Cooper, to see what we can expect. Crystal?
Thank you, Sydney. As we look at our current conditions, you can expect clear skies today, temperatures at about 64 degrees, and then we do have high wind speeds at 22 miles per hour, so if you haven't left your house already, definitely make sure to grab a jacket. Looking at tonight's conditions, you can expect very similar conditions as of right now. We have clear skies, temperatures at 64 degrees, and our wind speeds at 19 miles per hour. Rolling into tomorrow, we have clear skies again, a slight increase in temperature at 67 degrees, and our wind speeds again high at 23 miles per hour. That's all I have today for current conditions. We can go back to the desk.
Thanks, Crystal. Texas is now taking legal action against Facebook's parent company, Meta. Texas says that the social media site illegally stored the biometric data of millions of users. The lawsuit states that the app failed to get the consent of users before gathering facial recognition data. Attorney General Ken Paxton says that this is in violation of state privacy laws. The company was sued for over $600 million in a similar lawsuit last year in Illinois. Texas says that the fines could reach tens of billions of dollars.
Early voting is in full swing. Find out where you can go to vote.
And if you're looking for new restaurants to try in the area, we have the details. Stay tuned.
When you park in front of the ramp, somebody can't make it up the ramp. When somebody can't make it up the ramp, they miss their class. When they miss their class, they fail their final. When they fail their final, they drop out of school. If you drop out of school, you get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Don't get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Be courteous. Don't block wheelchair ramps.
Sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
campus has been looking busier, that's because it is. UNT's enrollment has climbed 6% for the spring semester, pushing the total student count over 40,000 for the first time in school history. North Texas welcomed over 62% more first-time students this academic year than last year and remains ahead of the state's goals for producing new graduates. In addition to the growth, UNT is also reaffirmed as their one research university due to its continued academic success. UNT is one of only 141 universities given this title by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education.
With more and more students on campus, there is never a better time to discuss the measures put in place to keep the student body safe. Yesterday marked the 4-year anniversary of the tragic Stoneman Douglas school shooting in Parkland, Florida. The father of one of the 17 students killed that day has since been a vocal advocate for gun reform and is calling for the Biden administration to make changes. Daryl Forges with CNN has the details.
Valentine's Day is more than a hallmark holiday for the Parkland, Florida community. It's a constant reminder of loss. 4 years ago, a gunman killed 17 students and faculty members at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Words cannot express the tremendous grief our students, employees, families, school district, and community have experienced.
The superintendent of Broward County Public Schools leading a moment of silence
Montalto,
and reading of the names of the victims.
Joaquin Oliver.
Early Monday morning, Manuel Oliver, the father of one of the victims, 17-year-old Joaquin Oliver, climbed a crane near the White House to deliver a message to President Joe Biden, unfurling a banner that read, 45,000 people died from gun violence on your watch.
Manuel, still Joaquin's dad, he's representing Joaquin in a way to be heard.
D.C. police say 3 people were arrested after the demonstration. Several advocacy groups, including one founded by the Olivers, rallied outside the White House Monday, urging President Biden to take more aggressive action on gun reform.
And the fact that they haven't done everything and anything in their power is unacceptable.
The rally in D.C. kick-started the launch of an online tool called Shock Market to track every incident of gun violence since the president took office. I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
President Biden tweeted his condolences to the Parkland families Monday and said he stands with those working to end the epidemic of gun violence.
It's now time to make your vote count. Early voting opened yesterday and will continue through February 25th for the March 1st primary elections. For Denton voters, you can cast your ballot at any of the various locations spread across the county. Here on campus, the Gateway Center will be serving as one of the polling centers. For more information, visit votedenton.com. Speaking of voting, I wonder what type of weather we can expect while waiting outside.
I have no idea what to expect, but I know someone who does. Let's check with our weather anchor to see what's going on. Crystal?
Thank you, Sydney. Taking a look at our local map, we see the same conditions pretty much all across the board. So we're going to be in our 60s all across the board. We can expect those clear skies, comfortable temperatures, and that high wind speed. So just be aware of that. Taking it further out across our state map, you can see conditions pretty much the same again. So we have clear skies, those comfortable 60s, all the way from the west coast to the east. And then let's roll into our 7-day forecast. So for today and tomorrow, we're going to be in our 70s. However, it will drop in temperature on Thursday and Friday to our 60s and 50s. And for our weekend, we'll see a rise in temperatures to our 60s, 70s, and hopefully we'll get into our 80s on Monday. I'm Crystal Cooper. Thank you so much for joining me with weather, and we'll go back to the desk.
Thanks, Crystal. I know we're all full from Valentine's Day goodies, but now we've got the perfect excuse to go nuts. It's National Almond Day. February 15th marks the national holiday, and the foodies at Foodimentary have a few fun facts about almonds. The ancient nut is mentioned several times in both the New and Old Testament as symbols of divine approval. Health experts even suggest that 1.5 ounces a day can reduce the risk of heart disease. Almonds even have you covered if you've got a sweet tooth. They're one of the primary ingredients in marzipan. Be sure to celebrate with a tall glass of almond milk or adding them to your favorite dishes.
It's time to kiss your guacamole goodbye. The U.S. government announced Sunday it suspended imports of Mexican avocados, shutting a $3 billion down industry. It doesn't help that the decision happened on the day of the big game, which is the biggest sales opportunity of the year for Mexican avocado growers. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Animal and Plant Health Inspective Service said it halted avocado inspections in Michoacan after an American officer received a threatening call to his official cell phone. Michoacan is the only state in Mexico fully authorized to export avocados to the U.S., but the area is also home to drug cartel turf battles.
Talking about all these avocados is making me quite hungry. And speaking of being hungry, I got the chance to visit 3 Denton restaurants, all with a unique story. Let's check out what these restaurants have to offer.
We're involved in a lot of like the community events. Like we always do Day of the Dead. We do.
We also do charity events sometimes.
Yeah, we do charity events, and we do like the National Margarita Day. We just try to be involved in whatever way we can.
It's not like restaurants where you can just, you have the least that you can bring your whole family, including your dogs and your pets, to come up here and just chill and have a good time.
Hard to say. I mean, I think there's probably some structural issues with that. I mean, we have the people at 7 tomorrow morning, so we'll still have a little bit of a breeze. It's not going to be completely calm tomorrow morning. Upper 30s, lower 40s, so 40 is a good average for a McKinney.
October 2014 until February 2015, I was on the streets. And it got to the point where I finally got into a shelter, and I got turned down for job after job because all they saw was homeless. And it got to the point where I actually was walking down the road to throw myself in front of a semi-truck because I was done. That's me right there. I'm the tall one in the middle there. We create this board, and on Memorial Day every year, me and a volunteer read the names off of every single person here, and at the end we do a moment of silence. You know, you've got people that come here and see these aircraft and see these planes and see these ships, and they served on these.
After the break, learn how to show your heart a little love.
And find out how your furry little friend can help save lives. Stay with us.
Okay, that's perfect. But I had a great time talking to you today. I have one more question. Is wrestling really real?
What?
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
Yesterday's holiday was filled with lots of love and hearts, but I don't know if I can say it was a healthy day for me after eating all those sweets.
That's okay, Madison. I know our segment anchor, Brianna Moore, has the scoop on what it means to have a healthy heart. Brianna?
Sydney and Maddie, the season of all things love is upon us, and Commit to Be Fit wants to share a couple of quick and easy tips on how to keep the most important heart healthy. Here is CNN reporter Mandy Gaither with more.
Love is in the air, so what better time than now to show your heart a little love?
Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women in the United States.
Dr. Lakshmi Mehta, a cardiologist at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, says there are 5 ways to jumpstart your heart health. First, if you smoke, quit. Second, develop a healthier lifestyle, which includes being active and eating a heart-healthy diet.
That is rich in nutrient foods with more fruits and vegetables and nuts and legumes, and you want to really reduce your saturated fats.
Third, know your number. See your doctor to find out your blood pressure, glucose, and cholesterol levels. If they're elevated, getting them under control is essential. Fourth, get plenty of sleep.
It can lead to heart failure, high blood pressure if you're not getting adequate sleep, and poor metabolism, but it also leads to fatigue and a non-productive day.
Finally, focus on your heart health by taking care of your mental health. Stress can raise your blood pressure, which can lead to heart disease. It can also cause a condition called broken heart syndrome, which may feel like a heart attack. Symptoms include chest pain and shortness of breath.
If you notice that something's different about yourself, that you're getting more short of breath, you're fatigued, you should seek immediate medical attention.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Keeping a healthy heart is the best gift you can give to those you love. With Commit to Be Fit, I'm Brianna Moore. Back to y'all at the desk.
You know, Sydney, I had such a good time watching the big game this weekend. Did you get a chance to catch any of it?
I actually did. The halftime performance was absolutely my favorite part, but I think our sports anchor, Blaine Tatum, has more on the actual game. Blaine?
That's right, Sydney. I actually missed the halftime show, but I sure had a lot of fun. I'll have more about that, and now that football is over, we're looking at a little bit more of the college sports. More after the break.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
this past Sunday was the biggest game of the year, Super Bowl 56. Between a historic halftime show and a down-to-the-wire game, this year approximately 112.3 million people tuned in to watch the Los Angeles Rams, and the Cincinnati Bengals. After a last-minute touchdown by Cooper Kupp with 1 minute and 25 the Ram defeated the Bengals 23-20. Cooper Kupp ended the game with 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Super Bowl MVP honors. Kupp is now the second player to win both the Super Bowl MVP and Offensive Player of the Year award in the same season. The UNT women's golf team is in a 23-shot lead going into the final day of the Tulane Classic. North Texas was the only team to break par in yesterday's second round, shooting a 4-under par. Not only are the Mean Green going into the final day with a comfortable lead, they have 3 players tied for the lead. Seniors Aubrey Tan and Patricia Sinalugan and sophomore Ellie Roth are all currently at 1 over par going into the final round. UNT will be paired with Michigan and Clemson for today's final round. And this past Sunday, UNT tennis won dominantly against Middle Tennessee 6-1. They only dropped 1 singles match to the Blue Raiders while winning all their doubles matches in dramatic fashion. This is the Mean Green's second straight conference win after defeating UTSA the following Friday 4-0. They will head to Tampa Bay this Friday to face Liberty and then will face South Florida on Sunday. Their next conference match will be next Friday against Marshall. That's all I've got for sports. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Blaine. If you're still looking for a gift for your loved one this Valentine's Day, this may be the perfect gift. It's a perfume with a truly irresistible scent, French fries. As a French fry lover myself, I am so excited. According to a recent national survey by Pollfish, nearly 90% of Americans find the smell of French fries irresistible. Frites by Idaho is made from distilled Idaho potatoes and essential oils. The 1.7-ounce crystalline bottle retails for $1.89, which is about the price of a large order of fries. The limited edition fragrance is only available on the Idaho Potato Commission's website.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.